Dispatch 125, 1041.
And that's just because, you know, you have the ability to not, you know, full throttle. It's also why getting up and down hills. You remember the other day we went down a ramp in Watts, which is Slasher's new cop character.
1028 southbound Buccaneer Way. Van clock going.
Was like
69 miles per hour.
Hold on. He's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to get out of there or whatever because it was so steep.
Okay.
Completely doable, no issue whatsoever with with controller. McNulty, be advised, you have a white or light gray Seminole approaching at high rates of speed. I was unable to clock it.
What did you just do?
This might actually be decent cover. Hold on. DJ, thank you for the 6 months. Ramps, what are they even? Huh? Air, thank you for the 46 months. We're coming to declare war on the Grimers. This do be true. Sick, thank you for the 100 biddies.
Dispatch 116, 1038.
Gold, thank you for the year.
Freeway right by Bolingbrook with a orange in color flatbed truck.
Dispatch 130, 1038 on a blue club, southbound Buccaneer Way.
Yo, man.
Engine off, windows down, please. Hello.
Oh my god, the fries are everywhere. Oh my god, the coffee's so...
Oh,
yeah.
Geez. Did I accidentally
I'm
spill on you
sorry.
as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
that really
I'm
hurt.
so
Why would
sorry.
you do that?
I'm
What
so
the
sorry. I
fuck?
didn't mean to do that.
You made her spill her
Oh.
coffee, man.
I
No,
did?
Yeah, you
no,
turned on your fucking sirens.
no.
My driving was smooth sailing.
No, before then. But when we were coming down the road, I accidentally spilled it. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
And then you started pulling us over.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize if I startled y'all, resulting in that.
No, it happened before then. Like maybe while we were going fast or something, I spilled it and then.
Got it. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's all right.
I was going a little bit. I mean, it was fairly, I would say, you know, controlled. You know, I know it was definitely
okay.
A teeny bit fast, like maybe 5 miles an hour. You know,
5 miles an hour. You know what? I'm Officer Rhodes of the Los Santos Police Department. Okay.
Hi, Officer Rhodes. You guys owe me a job, by the way. Why haven't I been contacted yet? I'm supposed to be.
We owe you a job.
I'm supposed to be a lead janitor. Okay.
Okay, but I'm
sorry. That
How
is
are you
different
supposed to
beef.
lead anything
Anyway.
if you can't do the speed limit? But it seems you're struggling to lead yourself.
Okay, Dad. Okay. You know what? Go.
I'm not your dad.
Get along with it. Get along with.
Get along with it. Are you trying to what? You think you can just snap your fingers and say get along with it? That's not how this works.
No. I
Sir,
would
do you
never.
find this funny?
I'm an upstanding citizen.
I
No.
know.
I am in fear. I'm in tears.
It's a serious situation.
Upstanding, respectfully, sir, you are a sitting individual.
I was trying to go to Grimes so I can contribute to the government, okay? I have 15 Grimes. I'm trying to get 16, okay? And I was just trying to give this nice lady here a drive to work, okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, 125.
I'm just trying to get along with my Grimes so that I can continue to get more DV
Crimes.
slips.
Strange way to say crimes.
No. Us Grimers, we call it Grimes, okay? Like
Right.
I have
DV
a 70
slips.
that could assist me with it.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Once I've
Apple
concluded
and
this
sauce?
38, I'll be en route. All right. Do you have some identification with you?
125 ETA.
Here you go,
about
boss.
20
See
seconds.
that? Here we are. And do you have any priors?
No. I might have one warning.
One morning? Okay. All right. Hmm. And how fast do you think you were going?
Oh, I was definitely going to at least 5 over. At
Oh,
least 5.
You're right. At least 5
over
over.
200.
At least 5.
Yeah, you were doing over 70, by the way. Speed limit's 35.
Sorry, I'm
6 for
choking
that
on my
red
coffee.
Glendale. I got
Oh,
eyes
I was-
on a group 6
All right. Sit tight. I'll be with you shortly.
truck
I have a
behind
question.
the bank. I'm gonna
Just
wrap
a
around the
moment.
front.
Okay, all right. Oh, yeah.
No vehicles parked in front of the bank. I'm gonna wrap around the parallel street and just keep an eye on the alleyway.
Turn the gas light into it being your fault, okay? So that he would feel that, okay? So that it was his fault, and then we, yeah. Look what the fuck you did. Nah, you owe me gas money for real, I swear.
Maybe we'll do third. We'll do third.
That'll pay for
Dispatch
my-
125. I'm gonna make contact with the drivers in the back here. Check on them, see if they're okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. You should buy one for me. Hey, officer.
Mr. Ledger.
Hello.
I know I was doing enough to kill like a few pedestrians walking by on a day to work, but it wasn't that bad. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It was
I'm
totally
gonna
not
make
criminal
something
speeding.
clear to you. I am going lenient here. I should be hitting you with second-degree speeding. In fact, I could even articulate reckless driving
I
given
should
the
be in
road
jail,
conditions. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. However, you know, at first you didn't seem like you were gonna be compliant on the basis that you said I was only maybe doing 5 above, and then you clarified and said at least 5. You know, I'll give you that. That's kind of like an internet service provider's, you know, roundabout way of saying, yeah, we may be offering you a plan of up to 1200 megabits per second down,
But it's like actually
but
like
you know what's
10.
up to 50. Yeah, 50.
Yeah.
That's up to
They just
the amount
stopped at
that
the
we
alleyway,
stated. So,
continued through. I'm
you
talking
know,
about a couple
it's
civilians
anywhere
here who,
from 1 to... Listen,
forgive me that
I see what you're trying to do here, okay? But I need you to understand, if you keep driving like this, you are going to end up in jail, all right? I'm being
understand,
lenient
yes.
and giving you a third-degree speeding citation, which is only a $150 citation, over the $300 citation you should be receiving, and that's excluding, you know, the red light, just, you know, negligent driving in general. You need to slow it down, follow the rules of the road, quit driving like an idiot, okay?
Yes, sir. It won't happen again. I'm sorry. I'll only go like 15 over this time.
Well, don't do that either.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna need your signature right here along the bottom. Just a reminder, it's on the basis of third-degree speeding, $150 citation, 1 point on your license, and you can attempt to appeal this anytime in the next 30 days.
All right, so some update. I'm gonna
Traffic.
keep an eye out for this Glendale real quick.
All right,
I'm
and
gonna keep around
passenger,
the
what
area of
were you
San Andreas and Bay City.
what were you asking
I just
before I
spoke to
walked
Kylie
away?
Stokes,
I had.
who
Well, I have 2
informed me
questions.
that she saw this
I don't
vehicle
think
stop
either
and
of us
watch her
asked how
while
your
she was
day is
doing
going.
Group 6 work.
Oh, I mean, it's
Vehicle
busy.
circled back
It's
a few
busy,
times in mid-conversation,
but not like
same
the worst
Glendale
thing in the
pulled up
world.
at the alleyway,
Yeah.
saw me and decided to.
Are you guys really hiring janitor?
I
I'm gonna hide in the alleyway,
can't
just
answer
kinda
that
chill
question
here
because I
and
don't
monitor the
know.
area for a few.
I
Oh,
do
okay.
apologize. Yeah,
No,
I'm sorry. I do wish I had a more solid answer for you.
No problem. This is like fun.
But if
Seriously,
you
it's
were
fun.
interested in the position, we do have a receptionist over at Mission Row. You can go and speak with her.
Well, so first I was supposed to apply for that, and then she never got back to me. She's like, "Oh, I'm on a call right now," and then she left. And then a guy was walking in who was applying for janitor, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll be that." And then I was like, "I really got to go commit some crimes," and then I never got it. But anyway,
well, I mean, you can head over to Mission Row now. Unfortunately, they do get quite busy, and sometimes the line gets quite long. But I mean, that is the way you would go about applying for any sort of position.
okay.
All right. Is there any other comments, questions, or concerns?
I'm gonna do a lot of crimes today because of you, officer. I hope you know that. A lot of
Perfect.
crimes.
I hope legally, of course.
Yeah. That
Right.
grime truck that just passed.
Yeah, it was speeding. I did see that. All right, y'all
Also,
are gonna
you
be
had
free to
Paris
go
Psychos, by the way.
once I'm
Yeah.
back in my car and the lights are off. Okay.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Dispatch 130, latest 38 code 4 130 10-8.
133, 1038 northbound, popular, growing van.
Was that the one that just left?
Yep.
10-4. I did see it speeding. It was even speeding back here. I was out of my vehicle at the time with another 38 though.
All good, clocked at about 70.
I'm driving with a controller. Easy now. In the snow. I actually can't. Too much effort. Leaning all the way over. Oh. Oh. Wait. That's specific to that spot? Oh. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Always loved your cop character in 3.0. Have a good
Aw.
2024.
Nick, thank you so much for the 20. I appreciate it. Always loved your cop character in 3.0. Have a good 2024. I hope 2024 goes well. I really do.
Dispatch 125, show the latest
ooh.
911 call involving the suspicious Glendale. Code 4 for now. Currently UTL in the vehicle. Gonna go back in service. Inform Stokes that if she happened to see the same Glendale following her, to call 911. So she calls, assume that they're being followed.
Do. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Oh. Hmm.
Please, God, for the love of God.
I thought they were gonna pull off immediately. Hmm. I need to bind some of the emotes. Think I'd say Merry Christmas. How you doing, Primal? I hope all is well, man. I hope all is well. Dude, Primal, I think you might be one of the very few people who understands what I'm about to say, okay? Because you were the other cop associated with the situation. I think we were involved, in my opinion, in one of the coolest, most organic perma of a character in 3.0, and it happened early on in 3.0. Straight up. Like, okay, they're speeding, but I'm too busy explaining something. Dude, I'm not kidding when I say this, all right? In terms of like a character that perma'd potentially involved with, I don't know if it was serial killer stuff. Genuinely, I don't know, okay? But what I can say is, of just about any perma in 3.0, the only one that has ever stood out to me as memorable, and to clarify, I'm not saying other permas didn't have any significance, okay? But memorable to me was the Asia Osa murder case at the start-ish of 3.0. You remember? Dude, for me, the craziest thing is that everything was organic about it. Like, they hung out with people on a daily basis. They worked at the VU. The VU was like a hotspot back then, right? It was like a hub to an extent. Asia Osa was continuously talking about how, you know, she was, I can't remember if it was like an arranged marriage. It was something like that. Her husband, it was the Luciano family. I recall that. Frank was one of the names. Were after her. She came to Los Santos to escape, and she was hanging out with Timothy. And then one day there was an event at the VU. She ended up dead shortly after that event, possibly even during. And her body, the fact that I remember that, chat, this was years ago. Her body was right here. There's a container right here, and that's where she was found. The event happened right here. She was a dancer. There were photos on Twitter. Photos on Twitter of her being one of the dancers here at the event that happened, right? So there's an entire place here where people had the ability to see who took them, right? Like, what card they left in. There was so much sort of investigative value, man. And to this day, I don't know who played that character, okay? Genuinely, I don't. But if that person is out there, please, 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 please reach out to me. Straight up, there is just, whoever you are, genuinely, it was one of the, like, the only, again, for me, sort of like standout-ish perma. Now, to be clear, the reason I have to explain this is because people are immediately going to assume I'm going to say I hate serial killer RP. Oh, so Primal, obviously you hadn't played in a while. Timothy is he plays pretty much every day. He went on from VLC to work at or work for EMS. He was a character that was present for all of that. All of 3.0. And is still around. Well, I think he's still around. I'm not sure. Some people have obviously re-rolled their characters, but yes, Timothy Flimothy. He had the chrome minivan. Was it pink rims? Right? But Primal, let me ask you this. Name another 3.0 perma that you recall. Like being involved in and like engaged. You know? Now to be clear again, it's not to say serial killer RP isn't great. But the reality is, in a city where people don't die, you know, sometimes you need a one-off character, right? To sort of play that role. Unfortunately, what ends up being a little problematic is that when PD continuously investigates a one-off character that doesn't really have any friends, no one can verify where they worked. You know, we check the MDT. There's no history. Like, it's kind of just dead end after dead end. And I'm telling you, if the lead up to a character's perma, even if it's a character intended to be permed from the start, right? If the lead up to it is a couple weeks worth of character building, right? Like, I'm telling you, it is so good. It is so good. It is so good. The reason we were so engaged in this situation specifically is because it wasn't just a character that no one had interacted with before showing up for the first time. We had so much to go with. I don't know if we had text messages at the time. I genuinely, I don't recall. But if it was mechanically possible, that meant we would have had text messages. We would have had phone logs. We would have had any possessions, you know, obviously in their apartment that were established after having been built over weeks. We have people who they hung out with daily, co-workers, people who can indicate where they were literally minutes before they were, you know, killed, right? And it wasn't just a one-off thing either. It wasn't that they just showed up dead. There was a situation. The fact that I can remember this years later, I think, is telling, okay? At the, it wasn't the Blue Cage, which is Red Desert. So here? No. Here. Is it this? Oh my god, why can't... It's not Sandcastle Way.
133 1048.
Am I a street
eastbound
off?
Buccaneer Way, grind van.
Okay, Bay City, right here. See the Blue Cage? In this alley, right here, specifically, she was found with... It was either an F or an L. And I think that if it was F, it was for Frank, and if it was L, it was just for Luciana. I think it was an F. She was found here, heavily injured, with an F carved into her back. Okay? And Primal, dude, you want to know what's crazy? Well over a year later, I get a call, and it was from Timothy, while he was still working at VLC, right? So at this point, we're talking, where was VLC? Here? No, it wasn't Milton. Wait, where? Bank? Okay, right here. This is the building, right? We get a call from... Wait. Oh, F in chat. I get a call from Timothy, right? He calls me. He tells me something had happened. I forget what it was. And he found something in this dumpster. Because there's a dumpster right here. I go there, and it was, I think, an ID. I forget the exact details. There was an ID with blood on it. I think the ID may have been, like, partially I don't know. Something, you couldn't read it easily, essentially. And you want to know the crazy thing? There is a tweet from someone with the last name Luciano. And the interesting part about that is that he had referenced a bird. Okay? He'd referenced some kind of bird. And then, you know, dude, I was just like, I was cooking, okay? I was cooking. Guess what? One of the dancers at the VU, at the time, this happened years prior, their name was Raven. Sasa Raven. Now, is that a coincidence? Right? Years later, dude. And unfortunately, not much came of that afterwards. There weren't many updates beyond that, but it was so fucking good. I want something like that to happen again. Man, I get excited about shit like that. I'm not gonna lie. Rhodes was definitely one of the cops who didn't want to respond to murder cases. Just because, again, for the most part, it was kind of the same thing over and over again, where it was a character with not much sort of history, quite difficult to look into. They were essentially a prop, and which, again, to be clear, I understand why that has to happen sometimes. Because, again, people don't perma. I'm going to assume that was an accident.
hope so.
struggling to respond tonight.
Oh, was it delayed and then did you type it twice and the first one didn't go through and then everything happened at once?
Yeah.
10-4, understood.
So sorry about that.
No, don't apologize. I was curious to know if it was intentional or not. You know, the 3 calls back to back from whoever just called. Given the cops with the effort and the case leaves breadcrumbs. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I just loved how involved, you know, and here's the thing, Asia, I don't know if Asia Osa was a character solely intended to die in this situation, okay? But what I do know is that despite Asia permaing, their entire character was based around wanting to live their life and trying not to hide in fear because they've already done that enough. It's the reason they escaped, right? You know, the moment we even brought up stuff like potentially a safe house, she pretty much shut it down very quickly and said, I'm done hiding. I want to live my life, right? And so the reason that's important is because, I mean, obviously every character is going to treat that differently, but it sort of puts a burden on the officers involved to ensure that they're kept safe, right? Because you're telling someone, and truthfully, it kind of is the easy way out. Hey, go in hiding, right? Wasn't even an option back then. But, you know, if you go in hiding, you might be safe. And they're like, no, I'm done hiding. I am done. Someone being at their wit's end, dealing with the situation, right? There was so much that went into this situation. It was so fucking good, man, from start to finish. Serial killers now have to be approved by admins, right? Yes, that is now the case. But again, here's the crazy part. I don't know if the Asia Osa murder was a serial killer situation. Like, with the information I have, I don't suspect it to be, right? The Luciano family. Hello?
So can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Not now. I'm just, you know, I find a little bit of trouble, and, you know, I lost my phone down there, so I don't know if somebody robbed it off of me, pickpocket, you know? Okay.
Wait, you sure you don't have your phone?
Nah. Okay. I have a little baby phone, you know, a little toy phone.
Okay, got it. Fair enough.
I think the pickpocketers, you know, took my real phone and put this dummy phone in my pocket. Okay.
Ooh.
So you good? So yeah, okay.
All right. Do you know when it happened?
I would say 2 minutes ago, because I was standing there, and I was talking to my partner, but he didn't see it. He said he didn't see anybody, and then my partner went. He just ran away from me, like he saw a ghost. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it possible it slipped out of your pocket?
You know what? You have a point. Let me go back and check.
Yeah, you might want to check. Just make sure you're not speeding, okay? It's snowing. Last thing I want is for you to get hurt, okay?
I'm doing fine. I'm going like 35. This is a 35, right?
Correct. 35 all in the city, 55 on Route 68 and Joshua Road, 75 on the freeways, but with weather conditions, slow it down just a bit, okay?
Yeah.
Braking's going to be a lot more difficult.
I got you. Yeah, it is definitely more difficult. Yeah. I can't even pull off. It's so.
Yeah, you're
so
not
slippery.
wrong. A lot of wheel spin.
Yeah.
All right, stay safe out there.
Thank you, officer.
Not a problem. So back to what I was saying. I don't suspect it was a serial killer case because no other bodies in relation to that showed up. And there was story behind it, right? It wasn't just this character showed up and randomly ended up dead. The PD was aware that the Luciano family was out looking for Asia, for running away, right? So, like, I don't know how you would continue that story with the serial killer, like, background, if that makes sense. Slow down! Y'all slow down, too. Thank you. You know what? We're gonna yell at people. We're gonna yell at people. We're gonna position right here between the trees. We're gonna be sassy with it too. CIA hit job with Mafia as cover. Hey, who knows? Man, I just found out one of my favorite Shaw videos, the one where he finds out Dad being gone and starts to just roam the city all depressed, has been deleted from YouTube. Really? Has it? Wait a minute, is that highlighted? Hey, whoa, no. Slow down. No, back it up. Back it up. Was it actually? That's crazy if it was. It was previously saved as a highlight.
133, 1048, southbound, booking their way. Growing van.
They were speeding up here on the far north side. I got on the megaphone and was like, no, slow it down. And in fact, back it up, and they made no effort to back it up. But yeah, they were speeding. 30 minutes of Shaw just driving. Yeah, that was during a different time when not many of us were concerned about DMCA related stuff at the time. And so the example I like to give is, think of a movie, right, with like a very emotional scene where the character is essentially defeated, except instead of a sad sort of emotion provoking song playing, it's silent, right? Those are two completely different reactions that viewers will have. Straight up, it just is. Wasn't there a perma with Ryan Kindle and the officer he drowned? Not sure if that was 3.0 or not. That was Speckle's character that was in the van. My character, if I recall correctly, was playing Kevin Shaw at the time, which was the attorney for Kindle. Funnily enough, right before that case was when I had gotten prio a week before that case, maybe. And man, I was on degen hours. I'm talking 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day. Just thoroughly enjoying and grinding lawyer RP. It was so much fun. It really was. Have you ever permit a character? No. Are you always degen hours? No, not the same as I was back then.
What did you just do?
Space, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate it. I love those days. Yeah, I'll never forget. I had like a small French press. I had a thermos with hot water. I had everything pretty much needed to make like coffee at my desk. It was wonderful. Gen hours when Shaw was into the dice games. You know, it's crazy. I was watching Moon the other day, and someone had approached him, mentioned something about gambling, and he's like, "You guys doing 3-6?" Hey, whoa. Slow it down, back it up. Back it up. Come on, all the way back. Oh, careful. You know, just, yeah, there we go. Keep coming.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
Oh, that was crazy.
I went downhill. I said my brakes would have stopped me. I was going at so much speed.
You know what?
It was absolutely crazy.
I was scared for my life.
You almost died, officer. Oh my god.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine. Listen, I'm positioned between these trees for a reason. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna slow it down moving forward, right?
Oh, 100%, man. I'm driving in slow at high speeds. That was scary, man. I'm gonna set cruise control to 35.
And what's your name, pal?
I'm Derek.
Derek what?
Derek Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, you drive like that again, I'm gonna issue a citation. Is that understood?
Oh, the citation, I understand.
I'm
sorry.
Get to moving safely.
To be careful, officer.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for keeping the road safe.
Hey! Whoa! What? You're on the wrong side of the road. No. Pull it over. Pull it over to the right side.
Hey, that's a lot worse than what I did.
Copy that. 125. I'm gonna be.
Okay. And.
Oh, hold on. Recent that one.
You think you can then drive on the opposite side of the road?
A white club. Be on the lookout.
Well, that's because you made no effort to brake. And who's blocking traffic now? Back it up, go the correct way, and get behind this other grime van. So that's a tree. You can't park there.
Hey, you got this, buddy. You got this.
I'm just dealing with a car.
Are we good to go?
Y'all are both free to go. If I see y'all doing anything silly again, citations.
Okay, thank you.
McNulty, not sure if you're still in a traffic stop, but there are 2 grime vans that were previously speeding heading southbound towards you. Just keep an eye on them. I yelled at them over the megaphone, so hopefully they take my warning. And then suddenly they worked again? Yeah, no shit, especially on a much steeper hill. Crazy. Just remember, Shaw talked with Gomer and it was such a sad talk. I would say probably one of the most emotional was Shaw and Jenny.
Yay. Great Ocean Fleeka gonna be running around the corner about 10 seconds.
It was a combination, actually.
White collar club that stabbed Group 6 workers and fled the scene going southbound. Did not see them going north.
Depot is
125 is
upset.
23.
So I'm a
Group 6, Fleeka, Great Ocean.
One of
I'm
these.
about 5 mics out. I'll be down there.
And then this. Like pit show. So my phone auto updated, and because of the update, my phone has actually not been functioning properly with my CGM, because Medtronic was pretty much like, you know, unsupported software, blah blah blah, we need a test to ensure everything's safe, which I understand, except it's a little confusing because you can't actually do anything on the app. Like, I can't give myself insulin with my phone, for example, right?
Correction, it wasn't a white and color club, it was a blister.
But it made me think the reason they're doing it is because if something displayed improperly, I imagine someone may make a decision based on the number that they see that may have been incorrect, you know? I see why they did it, but for an entire month, I did not have my CGM attached to my phone, which sucked. Omnipod and Dexcom here hacked it. There are okay, so there are some workarounds. None of them are really ideal for my CGM. For example, there's no app on my smartwatch. I have a Galaxy 6 Classic or whatever the fuck it's called. Love the watch, right? Love it. But I would need some super fucking wonky workaround, and the workaround is essentially between like 2 or 3 apps, I can get it to read the data from my CGM. It then gets uploaded and it gets complicated, but it essentially changes the text on the calendar. And that's how it would update. Like the text would change to my like current glucose number from my CGM. But I'm gonna be real. The 780G, life-changing. And when I say life-changing, one of my biggest issues is that... Sorry, we're just sitting here, by the way. Ooh, that's rough, androids. That is rough. What was I saying? I had a 770G, which, you know, is literally the same device. The CGM was a Guardian 3 instead of a Guardian 4. Ooh. EMS from PD. Actually, Echo 15 and Echo 69. Be advised that 13 Bravo is directly to your north. And Flop, if you're on Great Ocean, I don't believe so. It's a 13 Bravo to the north. We're Encino Road, which is directly to your west, where that ends. Off to the east side of the highway is where they're down. The officer specifically, the 13 Bravo that just went off a few seconds ago.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah.
605. It was a decade ago.
I'm taking a statement real quick. Let me go up there and check real quick.
Yeah, there are some really wonky workarounds.
Radio check.
10-2.
Status of disease. What's going on?
I don't believe we have. There are officers literally a block away from them on Great Ocean. So, well, actually, Flop, you may not have to respond directly to Bravo. MS, if you wanted to respond just directly to your north and Great Ocean, go ahead. I believe
76 up to the 13 Bravo with effort 80.
10-4. A 605. I've had Medtronic devices for so long. So I had a 770G, which had the Guardian 3 sensor. The reason the Guardian 3 sensor was dog shit was not due to accuracy or anything like that. It was the amount of calibrations it required. You start a new sensor and pretty much immediately for it to start making any sort of decisions, it immediately needed a calibration. It then needed a calibration very frequently depending on how finicky your blood sugars were, which is very problematic for me because as someone at the time, especially, who had undiagnosed ADHD, you know, I would be, this is going to sound really fucking stupid. I'd sit there and be in pursuits in GTA, right? My insulin pump would start beeping at me. Out of habit, I know exactly what buttons I need to press to disable the alarm. I would do it, and I wouldn't forget until years later. Like, it'd be hours later, straight up. Seriously, 2, 3, 4 hours later, and I'd be like, oh, fuck. Meanwhile, that entire time, my blood sugar was high, right? So, or the reason it was high was because I anticipated that the pump would be doing its pump duties, right? Except it needed a calibration, so it didn't. With the new Guardian 4 sensors, oh my gosh, and the 780 upgrade. It's the same insulin pump, the 770 upgraded via software to a 780. The 780 Guardian 4 sensor, phenomenal. When I say after the first week of it learning your patterns, you know, how your body responds to, you know, a certain amount of carbs, and it determining how quickly your blood sugar rises or falls, like, it is so fucking good. I cannot stress how good it is. For context, okay, listen, I know this is gonna make me sound terrible, all right, but there's a silver lining here. I haven't had a normal A1C for so many fucking years, okay? Straight up, I haven't. Let me see. So for context, because of me continuously forgetting my calibrations and all that shit, my A1C ended up being a 9.1, which is terrible, by the way. Very bad. Not good, okay? When I say I have changed nothing, and when I say I haven't changed nothing, I mean the 780G with the Guardian 4 sensor requires so few calibrations, if ever. I can count on one hand over the past, I don't know how many months it's been, 4? The amount of times I've actually had to calibrate. That, like, again, I haven't changed anything. I still forget, okay? But the pump does a phenomenal job at accommodating my forgetfulness. My A1C, with me barely changing anything whatsoever, has dropped to a 7. 7 even. Just perfect 7. Now, while that probably isn't, like, ideal, right? Like, it's still probably a little higher than where it should be. The improvement from a 9.1 to a 7, and the only thing that has changed is a sensor that requires less calibrations, is just as accurate as the previous one. So fucking good. Insane. Oh, trust me, I consider that a win. I consider that a win. You want to know what my doctor's note on my blood work for my A1C said? It said I was in target, even though it's technically out, like barely. It said I was in target and to continue doing what I was doing. That's it. I'm almost 40, been a type 1 diabetic for 35 years, had a pump from the 5th grade when Medtronic was Minimed. I had, actually, is it still considered Minimed?
Radio
Let's
check.
see. 10-2.
125's back from
No
a
longer
terrible
shows on the
migraine.
back, but 6.1 can't get lower. Oh yeah, 100%. And for someone with well-controlled diabetes, I mean, I'm gonna be real. If whatever you're doing at a 6.1, if you're content with that, keep at it. I've heard that some people don't like
125 is still on scene.
Don't
with,
like
Aziz.
some closed loop systems
I believe he rolled
because
underneath the grass here, gonna
they typically
see if he
don't
rolls back
allow you
over.
to get too low. Like at a 6.1, let me see. What does that equate to? 6.1 A1C.
Sorry, 10 man? You can go ahead and take that patient to the hospital if you
6.1
need to. I'm gonna wait on this officer.
is a, on average, 128. So for context, the numbers you might be familiar with may be a little different than, they use a different unit of measure essentially. But for some people, like the target range.
Roads!
How's it going?
Killing it out here. I think I've got about 20 traffic citations today on Group 6 ones alone.
Hey, I have a question. Do we have a tag solely for just a citation issued, or is it just a warning?
No. So we've got the warning ones,
right.
which is obviously when you just give the warning, which means like, okay, they gave me a good enough reason, and or it's their first time, yada yada yada. For just, I'm patrolling and I clocked, some fuckhead McGee driving a Glendale. That's just a regular traffic stop. You give him the ticket. That's that. And there's no tag for that.
Got it. Okay.
Interesting. Commercial traffic doesn't apply, obviously, because they're not delivering any kind of goods. They're just driving.
Yeah. It's funny because obviously, the people hauling ass in here and like rental cars are going to be doing grime, but I was at first I was like, out of habit because we were in this area, I just about clicked and I was like, wait, no, they're in their normal car. I can't tag them yet, but when they come north, I'm gonna get them.
So I did this for about an hour and a half earlier today. You should have seen how slow everyone started driving in. It was a thing of beauty. Went from like clocking 75 to like people going like 30 to 35 to like close to 40, and I was like, you know what? I'll take that as a win.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely, 100%.
Romanov drive, the oncoming lane where they'll cut through Jetsam there. They'll cut off road. He was like, oh, I didn't know
I don't go easy on those people. Fuck them.
Like, I don't know that was oncoming, and I was like, brother, there's literally signs that say stop, wrong way. I'm head down there, okay?
All right. Let's see. 6.1 can't get, or 5.2. 5.2 is averaging 103. 10-2. And again, the pump's target is, I think the lowest you can make it is 100. And that's actually an improvement over prior pumps because I think it was 120 before. And so if the pump intended to continuously keep you at 120 and you somehow average exactly that over 3 months, you'd be at a 5.8. So for some people who want, like, you know, as low as possible in terms of A1C, insulin pump might not be for them. I know some people don't like, and, you know, their average being 100. They want to be in, you know, mid 80s or 90s. But I mean, if it was able to keep you at 100, and by the way, I'm telling you, like, sometimes I glance at my pump, I see my active insulin, right? I see my number, and I'm like, why hasn't it given me insulin? And when I tell you, when that active insulin has hit 0, whatever algorithm this shit is using has figured out exactly how my body responds. Go for 130.
I just double-checked failure to traffic control devices.
It covers
For me,
signs.
Yeah, that covers.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, I know you're the man to know. Trust me. I had no idea about that, so we're gonna start using that.
Yep, 100%. A sign that is deemed regulatory, I believe it's how it's worded, or something to that extent.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. But the way the actual chart, it says devices. I would define it as anything like, as just like, you know, stop sign, stop light. Sorry, it's a device, I guess.
Yeah, it's been many years, but piss me off enough, and I'll hit someone. I'll hit someone jaywalking for not using the pedestrian traffic control device.
Well, that is jaywalking.
Also, failure to obey traffic control device. What judge is going to tell me the normal traffic lights that turn red when the pedestrian signal says go, but turns green when the pedestrian signal says stop? How is that not a traffic control device?
That would also imply if I saw someone hit a speed bump, I can also give them failure to control.
Slow down! Just a heads up, there's a grime van heading your way. I clocked them doing 59. I yelled at them on the megaphone saying slow down. They don't. Let me know. I'll swing up there and pull them over.
I got 45.
Did it seem like they made an effort? I know it is downhill, so.
It does. He's now going He's stopped. He has completely stopped this car. He's waiting for one of us.
You know, I'll let that slide if that's the case. I had to yell to get my pump going. One day you just drop at work and end up in the ICU, and guess whose insurance? Yeah. So insulin pumps are sort of unique. I've been through the process so many times in my life. I'm very familiar with it. Essentially, so androids, I'm not sure where you're from. In the US, it's pretty standard
I'm going to position myself on the actual Jetsam torn so I can...
Perfect. There's a sign. If you hug the sign facing north.
Way ahead of you.
Perfect. So, insulin pump warranties last 4 years. CGM transmitters typically last a year. Okay. And,
oh, wait, he didn't slow down. He had popped. Still, I'll take it.
So, how are you guys paying for insulin and diabetes-related drugs in the U.S.? Health insurance. But there's so much nuance to health insurance while dealing with diabetes. Like, for example, some insurance companies deem sensors for CGMs a durable medical equipment, while others consider a pharmacy benefit. And depending on your insurance plan, you may be responsible for, 80%, 50%, 20%, or even, responsible for nothing for durable medical equipment. And others, there's just so much nuance to it. Last A1C tested at 2.5. Reese's, that doesn't sound correct. 2.5, you would be dead.
7576
I think.
to Crusade with EMS in regards
That's
to,
like dangerously low, especially
I
for a
believe
3-month
ejecting.
average. I suspect. I don't know. There's other units of measure, not for A1C specifically, but live dangerously low. I don't know. 68, which is already low, is a 4. But back to like the whole 40 is not abnormal. Yeah, but an A1C would imply that that's like your 3-month average. That's crazy. What was I saying? Let's see. So insulin pump warranties last 4 years. So you're pretty much guaranteed to not get a new insulin pump within a 4-year period. Reason being, one of the things that your doctor has to pretty much articulate is medical necessity. And typically, insulin pump warranties are pretty much, it doesn't matter what the fuck happened to your insulin pump as long as it wasn't intentional. Your insulin pump could pretty much get run over by a car. By the way, I don't know that this is the case for everything, okay? Don't take this as like, you know, it's guaranteed to be covered. But your insulin pump, at least mine, would be able to get run over by a car, be smushed into a pancake, and if I sent back those pieces to Medtronic, I'm getting a replacement within that 4-year period, which is why insurance companies are not going to cover them outside of that 4-year period. So yeah, every 4 years, get a replacement. You know, upgrade. But it also depends because, again, it's durable medical equipment. And so, let's, you know, my insurance may cover it at 100%, but other people's insurance may cover it at 80% or 50%. And so, let me math this, because I recall, it was $7,500 for the cost of the insulin pump. So if you have 80% coverage for durable medical equipment, you're still responsible for $1,500. So, you know, it can definitely be expensive, but I'm telling you, life-changing. I would not say the same about prior, you know, Medtronic insulin pumps. But the current system, I fucking love. $7,500 if you don't have insurance. That's the... So, Gold, it gets really nuanced because the way it's written, like within your health insurance, is essentially they cover the least expensive one. So the thing is, the companies will essentially price all of their similar products the same. So one isn't, you know, more expensive than the others. I don't know what the cash price would be. And they do have programs in place to, you know, for people who don't have insurance and stuff. But yeah, it can be manageable. There are, like I said, there are programs if you don't have health insurance or your health insurance doesn't cover it. Which, I mean, I would say is reasonable, but I mean, still expensive in the grand scheme of things. Glad you're in the UK. Only decent thing about the NHS. So do they fully cover insulin pumps? So lucky over here in the UK. You know what's crazy? Y'all have probably been able to get the 780G for well over a year before the US was able to. Medtronic ran into legal issues with like the FDA or whatever because there were on 2 versions of their pumps before. I don't know if it was the 670 and the 770G. The clear ring around the reservoir area, like where the plastic reservoir goes in and twists, it was cracking. And then they also had an issue with the...
What about Glendale Custom coming past you there? I clocked it going 39.
If it's speeding.
4.
Hold on.
License plate ends with 963. Fuck 48, sorry.
they slowed and then accelerated.